You need a system. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the necessity of systems. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because tomorrow I'm supposed to be giving a short speech to a group that I do some work with, and the all made up of business owners, and really talking about the importance of system. Now, what is system when it comes to business? System are those, in the most broadest sense, it's the pieces of the business that run on a regular basis kind of the same way and have backing to make sure that it continues to run in that proper way. It's the parts of the business that we tend to see more as a machine, even though it definitely needs the flexibility in the long term. If you've dealt enough with systems, you know that it needs the flexibility in order so that it runs more like an organism, so that systems aren't stuck. They don't stay in one place. They're able to move and change, but at the same end, they keep you in line with your principles. So one of the best books out there on the subject, especially if you're just starting out in learning how to systemize pieces of your business, if you're going from a solopreneur situation to becoming more of an entrepreneur and hiring people on, you gotta read the Emyth Revisited, because it at least brings out a lot of the basic theory behind why you would need a system. Why would you want to go ahead with something like that? Why is it a necessity, absolute necessity, in order to create a business, especially the way Robert Kiyosaki puts it, a business that runs on its own, a big B business. How do you go about doing that? This is a great book for it, because he talks about how basically all entrepreneurs tend to fall into being an entrepreneur based on having what he calls an entrepreneurial seizure. It's more of an impulse to go towards becoming an entrepreneur, and we don't tend to think of it too hard until after we're in it on exactly what that means and what we actually want out of it and where we're actually taking it. Like I say on a regular basis, most things that we do, we don't really think about the end goal. But especially when we first start our business, we don't think about the end goal, especially if we've never started a business before. It's just not in our minds on what exactly we want to create in the end with our business, at least when it comes to you personally. So this deals a lot with that. This is a great book for that. Gerber was the one who popularized the term working on your business, not in your business. There's a whole chapter of it on that. And it's important. It's important to at least have that concept. Now, he doesn't go through the details of exactly how to accomplish it, but switching your focus over to understanding that it's necessary is huge. And I've seen businesses run long term. If you're going to run long term, if it's going to be a type of business that isn't completely dependent on any one person, so that if any one person falls away, you can replace them with somebody else and have them trained up pretty quickly on what they're supposed to be doing. That's the type of system you're wanting. A lot of it comes down to training. A lot of it comes down to, standard operating procedures. It's all that boring garbage that none of us like to think about, but it really is necessary in order for something to keep going, for it to keep moving, and to be beyond any one person. That's really the B-style business, like Robert Kiyosaki discusses. Now, if you already understand the need for systems, sometimes you need someone just to come in and kind of tweak it, because the system isn't producing what you want it to produce. See, different systems produce different outcomes. And if you're not getting the right outcome, either in the manner that your business runs, or in the output of what your business puts out, or in the type of business that it is for you as a business owner or executive, then you're going to want to focus in on that. Bring someone in who has a perspective on that, who can give you kind of some ideas, or at least help ask the questions that'll help you come to your own answer, which is really what you need. You probably already know the answers to your problem, but if it's a system problem, you got to bring someone in who thinks that way. One of the third pillars at brianjpombo.com that we discuss is being system based. You got to have a system-based business if you're going to have a business that works for you instead of you working for it. And another thing you got to keep in mind, and it's actually one of the main chapters I have in my new book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. So you can go check out, get a copy of that. And you get a free one over at amazonproofbook.com, or you can go pay for it. It's not that expensive, but it's a thin book. It's more about the ideas that are within the book and where the book sends you off to versus the actual words in the book. It's the ideas in it. And so if you can wrap your mind around that, it will be well worth any price that you end up paying for it. 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business, amazonproofbook.com. We'll be back tomorrow with another concept that can hopefully get you thinking a little bit differently and set you off on a new path. In the meantime, you have a great night. Get out there and let the magic happen.